Despite their skills, some pygmies do long for change and are drawn towards life beyond the rainforest.
We pygmies want to develop more and not live like our ancestors used to. Before, we just used to live in the forest. Then the tall people came and said, "You can't live like this. Come out and we'll show you everything you can do, how to develop." At first, we'd run away from the villages and hide ourselves. But eventually we said, this is getting us nowhere, and we began to leave the forest.
Unfortunately, the pygmies who've abandoned their traditional way of life are caught between two worlds. In their new lives, they're disrespected and poorly treated by the Bantu and forced into jobs they don't want. Instead, many use their forest skills to lure animals for the rich foreigners to shoot, ending up as trophies for their living room walls. Around 20 tourists, mostly from America, have come here for 2 weeks hunting. They've paid up to $20,000 each. Dogs are used to make it easier for the hunters. Trained to circle the game, the dogs allow an easy kill. This form of hunting offers little challenge for the tourist, whilst ignoring the hunting traditions of the pygmy and the eco-balance of the region.
The logging has created other problems, especially for wildlife. Poaching of all kinds is widespread. There are many different animal species here that need to be protected in the wild. Large mammals as well as small ones.
It's evening and entertainment time. Even the little ones join in. Every family cooks for itself. The food gathered during the day is divided up between the families. There's no male dominance here, and the men have to wait until the women and children have finished. Although this group is surviving well in the forest, there's still the dream of a lifestyle which is more like the Bantus.
Despite the fact that there's food in the forest, the young people want to live near the villages. I want my son to be able to read and write. I want to stay in the village. The most important thing to me is that he can go to school.
Life is hard here, and some of them can see the benefits of progress. In the depths of the forest, there are the risks of contracting diseases which they cannot fight. Sandflies lay their eggs under toenails, and the hatching maggots eat the flesh. The children can't walk properly, and in the forest, there's no treatment for them. Emil goes hunting every day. He's carefully cleaned his bow and uses special leaves, which he rubs onto it to mask the scent of humans. Hunters also rub leaves over their bodies to blend in with their natural surroundings.
I always have to go looking for food, so I don't have time to grow vegetables. Now, because there's this protected zone for animals, how can we survive? We're not even allowed to hunt for beetles or mushrooms in the area. We've always been forest people, but now we're becoming beggars.
Emil's about 50 years old, although pygmies never know exactly how old they are. Slowly he prepares his arrows, which are crafted from the veins of palm leaves. They're extremely light and only a few millimeters thick. He cuts a leaf in the shape of a triangle to guide the arrow's flight. In contrast to the Cameroon pygmies, those in the Central African Republic rarely use firearms. The arrow's poison is made from the roots of the vine. It's lethal to humans and paralyzes the heart. Several hundred years ago, this hunting technique was brought to West Africa by the Portuguese, and the Pygmies have carried the method into the present day. Emile and his wife Aliquia have 8 children. Pygmies here still live in traditional leaf houses, and the whole family sleeps under the same roof. Traditionally, a Pygmy group is no larger than 30 people. Emile and his wife, their grown-up children, and other relatives all live together. In a true hunting and gathering democracy, each person carries out certain tasks without the need for social ranking or hierarchy. Here in this village, a large number have adopted the Catholic faith and are attempting a new way of life. Unlike other sections of the church, this mission is working with the Pygmies, and there appears to be a common aim. Here they've left their traditional beehive-shaped huts and are living in clay houses like the Bantu. The church's idea is to use agriculture to encourage the Pygmies to settle down. They've introduced clean water, schools, and health centres, which immunise their children against diseases they didn't have anyway before the white settlers. The Catholic Church is playing a difficult role. While there's little prospect of the Pygmies continuing as nomadic people, showing them a new settled way of life is also liable to bring its own problems, as they lose touch with their heritage. Priest Philip Courbon has worked intimately with the Pygmies for 25 years, trying to understand their way of life.
It's not a question of luring the Pygmies out of the forest. That's their natural way of life. It's rather quite the opposite. We encourage them to continue their traditional way of life. But it's the Pygmies themselves who are looking for better circumstances, because the forest isn't enough for them anymore. Here, for their future, they want to build a village and cultivate their fields, so they can support themselves that way.
C'est de créer leur propre village, de cultiver leurs champs pour avoir de quoi se nourrir, pour subsister au jour le jour.
But the outside world has altered the perspective of the Pygmies forever. The church doesn't recognize their heritage and has created within them a desire to develop and reap the benefits of an increasingly Western lifestyle. This is not coveted by all Pygmies, who have found their hunting rights curtailed for the rich tourists and the logging companies, who neither truly value their skills or traditions.